Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. In this video I want to set myself a bit of a challenge. I've just had a look back on the channel to see when I started doing videos for Warhammer Fantasy Battles or something related to it, and it looks like it was January this year. I've been on a bit of a journey this year looking at the game as it's developed, and we found out more and more about what's going to be released early in 2024, and I'm super excited about it like so many other people are. Painting videos is what I do, or mostly what I do on the channel, so there's no surprise there's been lots of painting tutorials related to Warhammer Fantasy and focused on the old world. And even less of a surprise, the majority of those videos have been based around Tomb Kings and Bretonnians, which we know to be the launch factions for the old world when it launches next year. I've talked about it on the Hobby Hour, I've talked about it in some of my painting videos, that the plan has been to build two armies, or at least to have a real solid basis of two armies ready for when the game launches. So I decided to take stock of what I'd actually done and what I'd actually got, and it's quite scary how much I've got to do. So this video is going to be about showing you guys what I've done and what I've got, and setting myself a bit of a challenge and putting it out there of what I've got to paint. And I'm going to set myself a goal the end of January 2024. Now, we don't really know the official release date yet. They've said early 2024, but I thought by aiming for the end of January I'd be there or thereabouts. Hopefully early, if it's out sometime in February, if it's out in January. Again, I'm a little bit behind, who knows, but the idea is to get these miniatures done as quickly as possible. So over the previous few weeks I've been going through my box of eBay rescues and a few bits that I bought from a viewer of the channel, which were a normal price rather than some of the crazy eBay prices. And I've just been taking them from that unbuilt or half built and uncleaned up stage to get them to a fully primed and based and ready to go for future painting. And you'll have seen painting tutorials on things like the Chariot recently, which is one of those miniatures I got in that bundle. I thought that if I could get them all built and based and primed and ready to go, I could start doing them bit by bit as and when I had a little bit of time. And if I can leave them out on the table so that they're staring at me every time I come into the office, it will give me no excuse for forgetting about them. So once all built and lined up, it's a fairly decent core of which to build a Tomb Kings army from. There's nothing too special here. There's not many special characters. There's not many big gribblies or anything like that, but it's a nice core base, and if I can get done, it means I can spend time in the new year painting some of the cooler things as and when they come out or back into stock again. I decided to sort of tot up the army in old money points. I thought the best way to do that was just grab the 8th edition army book and whack maximum magical items on each, and it looks like I've got about 1700 points worth of 8th edition Tomb Kings there. I'll obviously need to add some Tomb Guard and then lots of the big gribblies and things like that, but for now I wouldn't want to spend any more money on these, and it might mean that depending on what the starter boxes are, that I don't actually need to get one. So having done that with the Tomb Kings, it was time to do it with the other side, the Bretonnians, and this is the army I'm more likely to spend a bit more time on painting. The Tomb Kings are very much a spare army. Never been a huge love of mine, the Tomb Kings, but I've finally grown quite attached to them as I've started painting them. I'm definitely spending a bit more time with the Bretonnians, and I've been collecting these bits throughout the year as well, bit by bit, trying to find reasonable prices on eBay and getting a few things off friends and that kind of thing. Now I've got a lot more building to do with this lot as I did with the Tomb Kings, so I'm going to have to spend a bit of time over the next few weeks trying to get them to the same stage as the Tomb Kings at least. There's lots of things on sprue still that I've added. And I've been printing off 30 by 60mm cavalry bases. As a bit of a guess, it's one of those rumours that are out there that's supposed leaks that's the size of the cavalry bases for the Bretonnians at least. So I've decided to go with it, looking at the pictures that have been banded around. They're definitely on bigger bases than they were before, so I'm going to take that gamble. So what I've ended up with is sort of 3 blocks of knights, one of which I'm going to leave unbuilt until release. That's one less thing to paint. I like the idea of the new plastic Foot Knights kit. You get loads of extra bits in it according to the Warcom article. So I think I'll make one unit of knights a bit more special and use some bits from those, one as standard, and then I'll use one as knights errant or something like that as well. So I've got 3 big blocks of knights there. I've got 32 bows, and I've got 32 men-at-arms as well, or 30 men-at-arms I believe. I've also got 3 Pegasus Knights, well, one's still in the post. They need a little bit of TLC, but I should be able to clean them up and get them painted, and hopefully that will be a painting tutorial maybe before Christmas, if not fairly shortly after that, so do look out for that one. You'll see there I've also got Pontifex and Estra and some free gold steel helms, and the plan there was to do a bit of a kit bash and a conversion to turn them into a Grail Reliquary. So that will be another planned video over the next sort of 3 to 6 weeks or so, hopefully leading up to whenever the launch may be. You may have noticed that my bows are in 4 ranks of 8 there, including the barricades as well on a movement tray. I've had that movement tray a little while. It's probably a little bit of a risk actually, especially in light of recent rules. They've been talking about that you can only fire in 1 rank regularly unless you're on a hill or have the volley fire special rule. But I've been going on a little bit on the early pictures that have been up on some of the earlier articles that showed that exact formation for the Bretonnians. I do wonder, in fact I'm going to put it out there and make a guess that that is something for the Bretonnians. There will be some kind of rule. I think some of the pictures that they've shown are illustrative of the way the game might work. You see this image here of the orcs and the way their back ranks are a little bit shorter there. I think these are images possibly from the rule book which do demonstrate the way the game would play and the kind of formations they would be in. So I've got a feeling that the Bretonnians might have a rule that allow them to fire in more than 1 or 2 ranks in that kind of formation. But we shall see. If it's no good, I will turn them into 2 small units. I suppose it's not very easy to do. All I've wasted is a movement tray. And just like with the Tomb Kings, I did knock up a little 8th edition, well 6th edition, it's the same book for the Bretonnians, bless them, army list, and I've got my Brett Lord on Hippogriff there, which isn't actually in the video on the table. I'll have to pop him on afterwards, but again I just maxed out magical items and totted up what I had to see what kind of points it came up to. As you can see there, there's over 2400. It's probably a little bit of points I'd save here and there, taking off the odd knight from a block so a character could be in there. I'm not sure I'd always run the 3 blocks and have the Grail Reliquary, etc, etc, but it gives you an idea of the kind of points in old money that I've got already. And again, maybe I won't need a starter box when it comes out with the amount of troops I've got there. I may well find that the kind of things in a starter box are just things I've already got and don't need. Anyway, enough of that sea of grey plastic and boxes and things, and just to remind myself and you of what the finished models do look like, the ones that are scattered throughout all of that on the table there. I really enjoyed all the stuff I've painted so far, so I am looking forward to finishing off the armies, and I really can't wait until they're complete and looking like this, all of them faced up against each other, and hopefully in time, or at least enough of them painted in time to try out the game fairly early on from release. Well, thank you very much for watching. It's a bit of an unusual video in one sense or another. There's not lots of new miniatures painted, which is something I usually try and do in every video that I do. I try to show something new, whether I've painted it or at least show a new product or something. And this is my miniatures collection all lined up, and the miniatures that are painted are ones that you've already seen in tutorials and things like that. So it is a little bit different. But I thought by laying them out on the table, I would set myself a bit of a goal and give myself a bit of a challenge by putting it out there, really. And if you're interested in following along with that, I'm not going to continue to do loads of update videos on the channel. I'm not sure that everyone will want to see that, but I will be sharing my progress with my Patreons, and I will be sharing some stuff in the Discord as well. So there's links to those in the video subscription if you're interested. So do have a little look there. It's a great way of supporting the channel is joining the Patreon, and there's some nice chat in a growing Discord at the moment. It's nice to see new people turning up all the time. So I will be sharing some of my progress with the patrons and a little bit in the standard Discord as well. So if you want to see some updates, we'll follow there. But I will hopefully come back at some point in January with similar table setup to what you've seen already, with the mat done. That's another video there coming soon. The mat done and terrain on there, and those 2 armies lined up against each other, fully painted. And if I can achieve that by the end of January, that would be a really nice thing to come back to. And that's why I'm making this video today, really, is to give myself that bit of kick up the behind and get myself moving over the Christmas and New Year period to really get those units done. It's so easy to get into the habit of painting a model or two to create a painting video. It takes a long time to do, but you just never finish off the actual unit. And that's not complaining. I love making videos, but that's often the payoff for doing content is not actually spending that time just finishing a unit ready to game. And I need to find a little bit more balance there. So you might find there's a few painting tutorials for things that are on that table over the next few weeks or so. That would make sense. But then also a lot of it will go on behind the scenes, and hopefully I can show them off at the end. But anyway, thank you very much if you've made it this far. If you've liked the video, please do give us a like. It helps it being seen by others. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out. Check out the Discord and the Patreon. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.